Remember, I'm not an attorney and I don't play one on TV. These videos are for informational or educational purposes only. I give you the great advice of seeking out your own legal counsel and visiting .gov websites for further information and understanding the complex process of immigration to the U.S. I am not an expert in this field or any other field. Thank you. Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is David with Philippine American Couple, and man, I am so excited. I really am. I am going to do this next group of videos about the different visas that somebody can use to come to the United States. So this is a very interesting topic for myself, and I'm hope to learn a lot and also to teach you guys what I learned. Now keep in mind, we have a lot of different types of visas. You can have family visas, tourist visas, work visas, and so on. And I'm going to break these down into smaller categories so it's easier to understand and the videos are a lot shorter. If you would, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that alert bell, and share the videos. Also, I would love to hear any comments from you guys about what visas and the process that you had to go through to bring somebody to America or for yourself to immigrate over to America in any way, shape, or form. This is a great chance for learning and open dialogue, but I am really excited about all these possibilities for different ways to immigrate to the United States. Let's take a look at the petition for alien relative. This is the uscis form I-130. As we go through this form, I'm going to give you some tips along the way that might help you. So let's look at the form as we scroll down here. And you can see that there's the top part of this is for the government use only. So uscis use. So you do not fill out this. If you're working with a group or an agency to do this for you, they do not fill this out. And look, I do highly recommend, and I will put in the description a link to a visa company or a visa service that we've used and highly recommend if you do not want to fill all of this out yourself and need help with it. Then as we scroll down, there's another section here to be completed by an attorney or accredited representative, which would be, i.e. our visa agency that's helping us. One thing I'm going to tell you that I highly recommend you guys do, I want you to print all of these forms off. And then I want you to practice answering these questions and going through and getting all of your documentation as you work your way through the forms before you go online and submit it online. So we start off here as part one is relationships. So you are the petitioner. So let's make sure we understand this. If I'm the U.S. citizen wanting my family to come here, I am the petitioner. My family in the other country is the beneficiary. So the folks that are not U.S. citizens that are not here that I want to be here are the beneficiaries. And you get a choice. I am filing the petition for my spouse. And when you do this online, the cool thing is it lets you just click and fill in the blank and type as you go along. And this is kind of why I highly recommend that you print everything off, write everything in first so that you can be very consistent. And all we do, now one thing I don't like about the form is how they kind of do a side-by-side thing. So how we have part one here and part two here. And you'll see as we go along, the numbering is kind of goofy. So I'm not a big fan of that. But we're going to basically simply go through here and answer these questions. If the beneficiary is your brother and sister or you related by adoption, you want to answer yes or no, whatever that may be. Did you gain your lawful permanent residency? And then we have 4A, 4B, 4C, your name and your information. More information about you, the petitioner. And it's going to ask you 5 million questions. You're going to give it all your information, all your details, where the city and town, village of your birth, country of birth. And here's part of why it is actually so important to print this, to answer all the questions, make sure you got it exactly right, and then keep a copy of that, because what you're going to want to do is to make sure you are very, very accurate when you fill out your portion and the beneficiary's portion. It goes that the wise thing to do is to make sure that your family in the other country that's wanting to come here has a copy of everything that you submit, so your answers are the same. So let's say, for instance, down here where it's asked for the petitioner's marital information, let's make sure that your family knows how many times you've been married. I've been married once. So if you've been married twice and they put once, that could be a red flag. And it's going to be really important down here where it talks about your biographical information. Where are you born? What country you're in? Where do you reside? Are you a citizen, a lawful permanent resident? Your family needs to know all of this stuff on their end. So please understand that you have to share all of that. And when we get down here, you're going to see, because some of the things that you have to fill out for your beneficiary, your family coming here, relates back up to earlier in this form, like your biographical information. Well, are you blonde? Are you black? Hair? Town, Providence, beneficiary's full name. So now we're looking at the beneficiary. So this is where it starts talking about the family member that you want to bring over. Do they have an alien registration number, social security number yet? Do they have an online account number for the uscis? And you will have one of these as a petitioner once you start this. Their information. Now, when it asks you up top from where does your family live? And now it's asking your family basically information. Where do they live? This is my point about making sure you print this off and make sure everything matches and is the same as same. If I'm saying that my family lives in Mandawi City, then by all gosh, it better say Mandawi City right here. If I'm saying they live in a state or a number, an apartment, it better match. This is your best chance. Other information, if I'm saying, Mandawi City, Philippines, date of birth, you want to make sure that when you put it down in this area, it's exactly the same. Do not deviate. And all you're really going to do is just come down here and fill out all this information. Now you can put additional family members in here. So like if you're bringing your brother over and your brother has 5 children, you can put your brother in here and then keep adding an additional person under here. So all you have to do is just keep going down the line. This is all about your beneficiary. So let's just work through this. And you can see it looks a lot similar like the top of it. And there's a lot here. There's 12 pages to this. Now on this website, the government website, they also have a PDF, which I'll show you in a minute, that gives you instructions that can help you understand some of these terminologies if you don't know it. Here's the petitioner's contact information. So this is where I'm talking about you need to be consistent, right? If I'm saying me as the petitioner up the page that my phone number is blah, 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 and my phone number here is different, or my email address is different down on this section where it's the beneficiary, you're going to give the government a reason to hang this up. And what we want to do is to try to avoid any issues that would cause delays. So accuracy is vital. And let's see, a little bit further down here, guys. If you need an interpreter, they have a provision for this if somebody's doing this for you. They also have a provision here for the person that is preparing this. So let's say that, for instance, if you use Filipino Visa Company to fill this out, this is all of their information here. So that's where that goes. They're going to have to state that they're accredited, or their attorneys, or whatever their positions are in their companies, or what their company is. And the certification that everything's been approved, preparer's signature. So it has a provision for the third party to be able to sign and fill this out. Now, here's where you can add a whole bunch of other family members. So additional information, if you need to attach things, this section is where you do that. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. Let's go back up here. Remember, we're only talking about the I-134. So here we have instructions form for the I-130, sorry. And you can print this off, and this is just going to help you with the process. It's going to explain once again what the website does, about who's eligible, if you're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. So they do have an instructional document here that you can use. It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of good assistance and help. It's going to talk a little bit about, the filing fees, how you do that, biometric services, evidence, the service appointment when you finally get to that point, copies of things, translations. It's going to go into deeper detail about everything you need to know. So they do have a really good instructional supplemental document to go with you guys. So here it talks a little bit about where to file. So you have a couple of options. You can file online or file by mail, or of course you can use a third-party visa service to do the work for you. It's real simple. If you want to do this online, the very first step is to create an account. And you do this on this page where you got to put in your email confirmation, and you're going to sign up and just make a new account. This way you can check the status of your petitions as we're waiting impatiently. This gives us a way to keep updating and adjusting things or tracking things. Or you can mail this in by mail. Now, I don't know if I recommend that way the mail services is. I would probably do it all online or have a visa service. Now, if you reside outside the United States, you can also do it through the mail or through the online. So you don't have to be in the United States to be able to petition for an alien relative to be immigrated to the United States. All right, folks, so that's just a little bit on our very special, very important form for the I-130 eligible petition for alien relative, I-130 form. See you next time, guys.